my name is Ro, and if you're watching this video, you either know me from Twitter, the YouTube algorithm is doing its job, or you stumbled upon it by sheer chance. In any case, welcome. If there's one thing everyone close to me in my life knows about me, it's that I am a huge fan of Game Grumps and Ninja Sex Party. I have a side project about piecing together the timeline of the 10-minute Power Hour. I have so much Dan Avedon in my Spotify history that this is what my Spotify Wrapped looked like this year, and I finally made it to one of their shows on the Pure Elegance tour. I also graduated from college in May of 2024, where I picked up a cognate minor in creative writing. My professor for all of those classes happens to write about music as another job, and she actually taught a course called Writing About Music. One of the assignments we did in her class was to make a playlist of songs that tells a narrative when listened to in order. So of course, in true Ro fashion, I scoured the NSP music library for any songs I could use to create a little story. Now there were a few that caught my eye, but nothing really stuck out to me. Until I checked their YouTube channel. Between the dates of August 2nd, 2018 and October 9th, 2020, NSP released a total of 13 music videos ranging from live action to animation. These 13 songs were taken from 4 separate albums released during this time: Under the Covers 2, Cool Patrol, Under the Covers 3, and The Prophecy. We will not be discussing 6 of them. 4 of the songs, Africa, In Your Eyes, We Built the City, and Down Under, are all covers, which means they do not apply to the narrative. The other 2 we will not be discussing do not fit the narrative, and they have explanations. Thunder and Lightning is actually a backstory to part of Danny's powers, and The Decision Part 2 is simply a continuation of a previous song and essentially just a recap of their adventures in the 10 years since the original Decision song. So while they do happen in Danny Sexbang / NSP lore, they don't take place in the narrative we're establishing. Now you may be asking, Ro, what exactly is the narrative we're establishing? And to that I say, what a silly question. You're the one who read the title of the video and clicked on it. This is NSP Rejection Theory, aka How Not to Cope with Rejection by Ninja Sex Party, aka The 5 Stages of Grief with Danny Sexbang, aka POV, you've been rejected by the first woman you've ever truly loved and now you have to cope, trademark. Or, just NSP Rejection Theory, for short. Before we get to Danny's first official heartbreak and how he may or may not have coped, we have to take a detour into everyone's favorite subject, psychology. Yippee! The 5 stages of grief were first established by Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross in her 1969 book on death and dying. The stages outline the different ways in which some people cope with loss, often in situations involving the death of a loved one. However, loss constitutes more than death. It can also include a breakup and dealing with the emotions that follow. The stages are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Oftentimes they are not experienced linearly or chronologically, and some stages are more powerful than others. Denial is what it sounds like. One refuses to accept that the situation is happening. They may not acknowledge the situation, they might avoid the topic in conversations, and in some cases they may straight up say that it's not even true. Anger is also self-explanatory. One gets angry to mask their deeper, more complex emotions. Sometimes they participate in destructive behaviors. Bargaining is essentially the stage of what if, and if I had done X, then Y would or wouldn't have happened. It also includes reaching out and trying to understand the meaning behind the event. Depression. Kubler-Ross actually includes flight as one of the symptoms, which will be important later. Acceptance is the final stage. The person accepts the situation and decides that it's time to move on. We begin this story with love. A Heartboner is a ballad about Danny Sexbang falling in love with a girl and expressing how absolutely wonderful it is for him to feel. Of course, this is NSP, so it's done through innuendos and dick jokes, but what else do we expect? The music video is created with both live action and animated sequences. I view the animations as a sort of fantasy world played out in Danny's head. Since the video is half animated, it essentially shows how magical being in love is for Danny. It's something he's never really experienced before. Well, there was that one time with a road trip, but we love character development. The real-life portions are enhanced by the animation. In addition, this was the debut of a brand new look for Danny Sexbang, complete with a new outfit and makeup style. Plus, it's the first music video in which he has actually physically kissed a woman. Side note, when the girl pulls away, Danny chases her lips. It's brief, it's subtle, but it's there, and it hurts me. Speaking of the lady in the music video, Danny's love interest is portrayed by the lovely Carolyn Vasco, who's a blonde woman with blue eyes. I will be referring to her as the princess from now on, as this is how she's credited in the video description. Her physical appearance is important. Smash cut to First Date, a fully animated music video that shows Danny on a date with a completely new girl who, for the record, looks nothing like the princess. She has green eyes and ginger hair. So what happened to the princess? Well, I believe she broke up with Danny. She left him and he's still in love with her. And he is not okay about it. During First Date, Danny is in the denial stage. He's completely ignoring the breakup. He's rebounding and participating in criminal behavior to forget about the woman he loves because she rejected him. Every single romantic comment is counteracted by some wild bullshit. A simple coffee date turns into shooting cocaine into his eyes and burglarizing a museum. This video, as I mentioned, is fully animated. And if we're sticking with the animation representing Danny's mindset part of the theory, then this means that his brain is coping in some insanely unhealthy ways. And then Brian ends up with the girl at the end anyway, because he loves to rub salt into Danny's open wounds, the bastard. Release the Kraken is a song I almost didn't include in this theory. It's not about love or sex.
I know, it's weird.
It's a fantasy song about a war in which Danny sics a fucking Kraken on his enemies. But hear me out. I'm inclined to say that Release the Kraken is just Danny experiencing the anger stage. Despite no mention of women, he is still clearly unwell. The fully animated video shows us that he's still in his head, wrapped up in his emotions. He's coping with chaos and anarchy and destruction and anger. In short, he's crashing out hard. And if you're on the fence about the inclusion of this music video for the rejection theory, let me ask you this. How would you react if the first real love of your life left you and your first rebound ditched you for your best friend? Perhaps with chaos, anarchy, destruction, anger? Courtship of the Mermaid is the first and only fully live-action music video we get in this theory. Danny is speaking very kindly and sweetly about this mermaid, and he even goes so far as to call her the love of his life. The kicker comes to the chorus, when he attempts to get her attention and seduce her by a pizza. But his feeble attempts are thwarted by a merman with filet mignon. I hate them so much. Danny is very clearly both still in the denial stage and beginning the bargaining stage with a step towards acceptance, but not quite getting there. Denial for the fact that he's still refusing to acknowledge the princess, but also stepping towards being okay with getting back into the dating pool for real, and bargaining and reaching for an unattainable target. Mermaid. There is a considerable lack of animation, but the fantasy element of a mermaid kind of makes up for that, because not only is she unattainable because she isn't interested, but she's unattainable because she's a fucking mermaid. Essentially, he's dipping a foot back into the real world. He isn't escaping entirely, but he's definitely not fully back in reality because she's a fucking mermaid. Who, by the way, bears a closer resemblance to the princess with white hair and hazel green eyes. And then Mansion Party happens. Danny is definitely still in denial here. He throws a party to forget all about his failures and brags about it to a girl and shows her how massive his mansion is and how rich he is, and he engages with multiple other girls over the course of the music video, basically surrounding himself with ladies and illicit activities just to escape his feelings. The video is once again fully animated, showing a brief lapse in his reality check from Courtship of the Mermaid. I feel like this one's kind of self-explanatory, actually. I Don't Know What We're Talking About, and I haven't for a while, is not only a mouthful of a song title, Eat Your Heart Out, Fall Out Boy, but also a very promising step in the right direction. Almost. Danny is finally going on a serious date with a real girl, and it seems like he's genuinely excited. And then they get to the restaurant, and he has a whole-ass panic attack. The lady in the music video is portrayed by the lovely Sophia Nygaard. Danny uses the phrases oceanic eyes and golden hair, which are blatantly incorrect descriptors. This is an obvious sign of his continued denial. And for the first time, we actually see the depression stage portrayed via the panic he feels when he doesn't feel a connection with her. While this isn't inherently displayed as sadness, I would argue that the panic is a manifestation of the heartbreak he's feeling. This song also indicates yet another attempt at acceptance, when he finally realizes he's not thinking about the woman in front of him in the present, but about the one behind him in the past. The music video is half animated, but with stop motion, so maybe slightly whimsical as he's panicking during this date and attempting to escape the hard reality. Throwback to flight being a symptom during the depression stage, but still not fully escaping since there's a touch more realism in the animation medium. Wondering Tonight shows Danny fully at the acceptance stage for the first time. He finally acknowledges his grief over the breakup with the princess. He finally addresses how much he misses her, wondering who she's with now. While the song may still feel like he's yearning for her, it's ultimately the end of an era for him. The lady we see in this music video is played by the lovely Mia Malkova, who is blonde and has blue eyes. And while she and Carolyn Vasco are two different people, Mia still bears the closest resemblance to the princess we've seen thus far. The music video is mostly live action, but there is a small bit of animation during the bridge. This represents Danny finally admitting how much the breakup hurt him and being true to himself, and for a moment, he fantasizes about her. By the end of the animated sequence, Danny offers her his heart and she shakes her head with a small smile, flying away and leaving Danny to crash to the ground. And thus, we end this story with acceptance. Now, was any of this what Dan and Brian intended to portray in the songs they chose to provide music videos for? Probably not. I highly doubt an entire subplot of Danny Sexbang breakup trauma was ever planned out. Though if it was, I don't think I'd be too surprised. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I had a lot of fun making this theory and the video, so thanks for sticking around till the end if you did. I'd love to make more NSP videos in the future, one of which I already have planned. I'll go easy on you with all the like, comment, subscribe jazz, but feel free to do any of those things in any order and combination you'd like. Thanks again, lovelies. I hope to see you next time. Have a lemon meringue day.